Okay, Kieran, let's start with your first page here. Nice, thorough mind map. I'm not sure if this title imperfection here is visible on yours, but it is on the Mac, so just check that. If it is, sort that out, please. Um, let's move on. Stimuli page. Yep, you got a variety of people, places. Focused on environments first, so all this is totally fine. Then you've looked at this artist. You did your analysis on here, and some of your responses. We've got some more responses here, which are all totally fine and valid. The only thing I would say is when I look at these, because they're quite small and they're all crammed together, it's almost like we lose kind of like the effect. Like this one is really interesting. So I would say make a new slide, paste your piece in, make it a bit bigger, and really show off the picture. You can keep it on here, but you can also showcase it here, just so it's a bit larger and it looks better. Now don't do what I've just done, which is enlarge this picture, because this is compressed, so when you enlarge it, it looks pretty bad. You would have to actually drag in the original picture which you've edited. Moving on, some experimentation here with light backlighting, which works really well, leading you on to this work here of this photographer, and then some more of your ideas. And then we've got the setup here and the light setup. This is all very good, and some of your outcomes. Here we have red gel. So I would actually maybe put a line down here. Oops, sorry, down here. Red gel used to the left, camera left, behind subject, to create this element of color, which represents danger, or it could represent heat, or it could represent anger. That will give that decision a little bit more credibility. And then you've done some responses. Again, these outlines are really kind of distracting because they are the brightest piece. They really are extremely eye-catching because they're so bright, and your eye really shouldn't be led to the outer part of your picture. The exterior frame should be focused on the main image. So what I would do is I would either change the background color to white and then change your writing to black. So if I was to just do that here, if we just to format this background, and let's just change this to white, you see now all your pictures actually really do stand out. They look really strong. They're not disappearing into the background. Okay, and that's not necessarily I'm saying you have to do that for all of them, but if you're going to put multiple pictures which are all very dark and black and white on the same page, then it's good practice to kind of make sure they don't disappear. Like that page now looks so much better, and each picture is actually, your eyes are drawn to every individual picture because they're all divided by a nice white gap. So I would definitely do that to pages where you have multiple pictures, but you really want to show off them all individually. So again, I would do it to this page. When we get here, this is different. Obviously, we've got a black background. That's what we want to do. And we also did a lot more, more development pieces. We worked together and we produced some development pieces of different arms joining and limbs, but they don't seem to be present here. So can you please make sure you put them in? Because before you get to this advanced stage of Geigerism, I would like to see at least another 4 or 5 pages of development where you're just focusing on the limbs and you're trying to create these quite eerie, surreal human forms made out of limbs and body parts, because this was working really well. So I'd like to see more of that. We've got some movement here. Again, a little bit of a reference maybe to what this represents. The circle of life, possibly. How things are evolving over time, maybe. I'm not sure, but it would be nice to have a reference. And also keep your eye out for any artist work where you might see this. I mean, this could link with Leonardo da Vinci's piece, and let's just bring this up here. You'll know which one I'm on about. If we just type in Da Vinci here, come to images, we'll see this piece here. Okay, so the multiple arms. This is a very good reference which you can use, and you could even attempt to try something like this with your limb pictures. Okay, so this could be another artistic link here, bringing in the work of Da Vinci just here on this page. And you don't have to do a full analysis on him. You literally could just take this picture, put it in over here in the corner, and then we can see where you've got this reference from, and just reference it, Leonardo da Vinci. That would be very good. So I want to see more of these kind of developments, and these ones that we've already done. Do a few which are just limbs joined in different formations, and then do a few where you've added motion and movement to the image. Okay, that will give you some more development in this area. Then we've got the work of Geiger, which is a perfect link. And then we've got some of these pieces that you did, I think, in the exam. Just a word here, please don't stretch things, because it makes things just look really odd. So I'd rather the item be somewhat smaller, but not stretched, because we don't want anything stretched. It just kind of messes up the proportions. And try and keep everything within the actual framework of the slide. That works well. And you've got these. This is really interesting as a background. Again, don't go right to the edge, because it's going to be really problematic when we start transferring to the iPad. Keep things kind of within this section. Interesting background, good use of Photoshop here. Here we're getting into like this robotics. I was looking at these and thinking Transformers. So what I would want to see with this is, again, some more developments like this, but maybe bringing in some references to robots, Transformers, cyborgs, Terminator, what's the other one called, iRobot, etc. There's many different references where like metal has been used, but I think Transformers is going to be a big one. Out of all these pieces that you did in the exam, this one for me works really well. You've actually got like perspective going on here. You've like created a framework, and then we're peering through this hole, through this doorway, and in this doorway you've got all of these metallic parts. As a composition, it's so strong and it looks fantastic, and I think the way you've blended these exterior parts out, making them look like they're further away, again fools the eye into believing this is like an actual perspective space, a structure, and we can move in and out. And this also reminded me of Predator, so you've got like the dread kind of pipes here. So again, you could make that reference really quickly with the Transformer sheet. So I'd stick another sheet in which is like referencing robots and creatures in Hollywood, for example, and you'd bring in references to those elements, and that will tie in here. So this works really well. If you were able to produce maybe 3 pieces like this, which were big panels, which could be printed really large and placed next to each other, but they'd all be like all part of this environment, that would be pretty amazing. So yeah, you've got some wonderful stuff going on. It's a bit thin on the ground in terms of development, because I know we've done more, we just need to put them in. I'd like to see this progress, and then maybe also try and adding in some movement in these pieces, like some things could be a little bit blurred. So more of the same, bringing in more elements together, trying to work in this idea of big composition, foreground, background, things closer to us, things further away. I think if you can put those pieces in, you're going to be on to a really, really strong project. Let me just quickly have a little scan into your folder here. Let's just get this up here, Keiran. Okay, so you had the arms. That worked really well on its own. I'm not sure if you've presented that in your PowerPoint on its own. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, you haven't. Okay, so if it don't go in your PowerPoint, it won't get seen. So this should also be in your PowerPoint. That was your frame piece. You've got that one in. You've got your wings in. All right, so overall, excellent. Yeah, this can be a very strong A-grade project when it's complete. So well done. Keep going, and yeah, we'll try and add some extra pieces to this to really create something fantastic.